Back again today with Dr. Lane, and now his time trial rig. So you're gonna have to take me through every part of this because this is all very foreign to me. I ride a bike that's 5 years old, the time trial, the old Shiv. This looks like it's got a lot more tech than 5 years ago.
We used to have the same bike, so I had a Shiv for years. So I had it for like 5 years. I thought, time for something different.
This is very different. Absolutely very different.
I kind of feel like I've taken a step back because the Shiv was cool where it had the integrated stem and things like that.
Front end's all different on this.
I've done my best to clean this thing up. So it's a Cervélo P3.
What size?
54, I think.
Now the P3s have been known to be quite long through here. Did you find any difference in?
No, it's fine.
I guess it's all about the setup on the front end. So let's go straight to the front end. This is the part that interests me the most because that's, I guess, one of the most important parts of a time trial bike. It's one, comfort and aero. You've got to get in and low, but also put out maximum power. If you're a brick in the wind, like we've got here today, you're going to be super slow. This looks like what I'm being seen on the Com Games and at the Olympics and at the Tour. Everyone's coming up at the front and they've got angled pads. Can you tell me why the angled pads?
Because we find it's faster with the hand position. So when your hands are up as high as you can get them, then it just seems, when we do aero testing stuff, it just seems to drop the CDA. So
we saw the original Shiv come out with the straight bars, then they sort of went to the ski bends. Now this is sort of more extreme. There is a rule with the UCI as well about bikes and about how high you can have these.
Yeah.
Is this pushing limits? Or is this...
Currently, as you'd see it, it is probably over the limit.
Okay.
But it's with me playing with it at the moment.
Yep.
But I've got some custom pads coming which will solve the problem. Not solve the problem, but just get around the rules.
Now, the UCI are very strict in their rules. There used to be limits on how far forward and back we could have our saddles with the bottom bracket positioned there. The front end, which I'm referring to, the front end height thing here is there's 10 centimeters between the center of the pad and the tip of the bars here. Now that used to be different with mechanical versus electronic. It's all very hard to know the rules. And we did see a competitor from New Zealand on the track. Again, it's track, it's a little different to road, but very similar governing bodies, well, the same governing body. He got disqualified because he took the pads off and which dropped the effective height here. So there's a ton of rules. Let's not worry about those today though. Let's look at the tech that you've got for this bike. So Cervélo P3, group set, what have you gone with?
This is the old Dura-Ace electric that I used to have on my Shiv. I just kept it all, transferred it across to this.
Yep.
So I run just Dura-Ace front and rear derailleur. I don't run the Dura-Ace
I've noticed that.
Things. Yeah.
Any preferences there?
I'm just so used to changing the buttons up here because on the Shiv it used to have a little barrel adjuster to adjust the brakes, and I used to find that way more practical than having something here where I couldn't adjust it. So I'm just used to reaching up and changing here. So they're not Dura-Ace. Usually the Dura-Ace ones these days have one button, so the left is up the cassette and the right's down.
Okay.
This one has 2 buttons on each one.
So 4 buttons all up.
Left is front derailleur, right's rear derailleur.
Okay, so up and down, so there's no confusion there. It's also a little bit more aero, a little bit more streamlined through here. Width of the bars, does that take into account on a TT bike? Not really?
It might be 38s or 40s. They're relatively narrow.
Okay, but I guess it's the width of these pads, which is all about your bike.
Yeah, so that's all adjustable. So this is a Env Cockpit. So it's a Env, they call it an Env SES system, a smart air, smart something system, I think.
Yep.
With zip extensions and Env stem.
So this is all custom, or does this come as a kit with the bike?
No, you can buy I just bought the frame.
Okay,
and then I just put everything across to
so
it. That's a stem with a cover over it, so you can have the junction box and things in here.
Right.
And a couple of cables that come into the little hole in the back of it there to get the cables into the frame.
Yep.
So
everything's tucked away.
I went, as standard, old Dr.SLane goes to a few more extremes. Usually there's cables and stuff coming in for the rear brake, but I went to the trouble of getting it in there, through there, down here and into the back.
You wouldn't even notice, like when Slane pulled this out of the car and pulled it up here today for me to look at, it's just super slick. And if something looks good, usually it'll be pretty good into the wind as well. It's about clean lines, this has got them.
So the good thing about these bars is they have this adjustability where you can actually adjust the angle.
I've not seen that before on a time trial bike. Okay.
So you can adjust the angle, but I've also got Ken Ballhouse at Adaptive Human Performance makes these cool little wedges now that you can put underneath the pad, and it fits a variety of bikes. He's got a few different versions now.
Yep.
So you can actually get that angle. And you see a lot of bikes these days with that angle, and it's usually because they've got the fancy little wedge going on.
That's brilliant. That is light years ahead of the adjustability we had on the Shiv. I've sort of adapted my position around the Shiv. It's been okay for me.
You used to be able to angle your clip-on bars when you clip them onto your road bike and you just bend them up.
Most people finish with clip-on bars with them down like that once you hit a pothole, so things can get a bit nasty. That is a very, very cool front end. Back over to the group set. So you're not running a Shimano crank, you're running a
That's
flow?
a rotor flow crank on a relatively short crank. It's a 167.5.
So are you doing any running off the bike? Why have you gone short?
Nah, I just go straight to the couch. I don't know, I've always had hip and lower back problems, and I just find having a shorter crank these days, and on my road bike I've got shorter, it just doesn't aggravate my back.
So again, you've chosen the best for you rather than what's best off the shelf or what pros are sponsored with. Slane's gone out and bought the best of breed for what suits him, and that's obviously going to get you the best performance.
Yep.
Awesome. Now, that rear derailleur, what's going on there?
Well, it's a standard Dura-Ace electric derailleur with the good old ceramic speed oversized pulley wheels.
They look like chain rings you've got there at the back.
Yeah,
how do you find those?
I think they're 16 or 17 tooth, I think they call them.
Okay, yep.
Look, it's just less drivetrain friction. There's pretty good proof that the bigger gear or cog you can run, the less friction there is with the chain going around it. Maybe is it individual pieces that don't do much, but when you go a big chain ring on the front, which means you can select a bigger cog on the back with those chain rings, you might be saving 5, 7, 10 watts.
On a good day, into a headwind.
Well, with a clean chain versus a not so good one, maybe.
Yeah, okay. All the little bits add up, even 0.1%, you add 10 of those together, you're going to see some improvements on the time. Okay, pedal-wise, Dura-Ace pedals for now. You've also got some speed play ones you run on race day?
Yeah, like I've just been running these on training, but for race day, I've got the Aero speed play ones with a different set of shoes that I just wear on race day.
Yep.
Just to keep it all cleaner.
The cleats are set up the same? You've got those?
Yeah, they're just all set up the same. They feel the same.
Yep.
Same shoes, but different cleats.
And the power meter on this, Powdermax
again,
NG?
Powdermax NG with a 54-42 set of Praxis rings. I've got a 56, which was on my bike when we did maybe when we did it.
It was on your other R5 road bike.
I can't remember.
We had the 54 on the road bike, I think it was. But that day on Christmas Day, you had your tailwind.
I've tried the 56.
You had it with a tailwind that day.
You need a fast course.
It was. I think Slane did about 120 kilometres in, was it near on 2 hours? It must have been close. Like big tailwind, big open roads on a 56. That thing was humming along. What else have we got bottom bracket wise on this bike?
That one's a Seabear ceramic bottom bracket, so specific to a rotor crank and a Cervélo frame, so a BB right one.
Okay, now
so no spaces.
Seabears have different models based on different frames because there's certain tolerances in there. I've been doing a little bit of reading on that. So with Seabear, you would order your specific bottom bracket, not just for the size,
but
for
the
the
crank
bike
that it's going to be paired up with.
Now onto the brakes. The TR, what's TR?
Yeah, that is Tri-Rig.
Yep.
So this bike sadly doesn't come with like an integrated brake or anything like that.
That's probably a good thing. Some of those integrated brakes can be a bit of a pain on
they're
race
not too bad these days. It's a TT bike, you don't need to brake. I'd rather have an integrated brake. These are Tri-Rig brakes.
Yep.
They do some cool little things where the magnetic cap comes off and then you can get to the bolts and things for the cable.
Yep.
And then it just snaps back on.
So no problems at all adjusting those for race day, swapping wheels in and out?
No, they're actually the easiest brake ever to set up with like if you've got a wide wheel, it's just simply one screw with a little cam that just winds out that last bit of that paddle and it adjusts. It is actually the best system I've ever seen on a brake to adjust. Good job, Tri-Rig, I am impressed.
I still struggle with a few of mine. The Shiv itself with its brake underneath just can get in the way a few times. Saddle? I guess the last thing we covered today?
Yeah, so an ISM, what is it? An ISM PS 1.0.
Right.
I don't really have too many troubles with saddles, but I find this one you just kind of sit in, it locks in.
Yep, big cutout.
In the right spot.
And you can lock in. Now your time trials are around 20 kilometres to 30 kilometres?
Yeah, 20 to 40 on a rare occasion.
Okay, so not sort of Ironman distance or tri distance, which you have done in the past?
I've done a couple of halves in the day, gone okay.
90k time. I still can't get my head around a 90k time trial, but if it was, I'd want the front end nice and comfy. And you have to have a bento box there, wouldn't you, as well, with some food?
Well, that's the thing. This P3 is actually come with all these different bolt
I see the
holes
mounts
and
on. That's why I
things.
mentioned, yeah, the mounts.
There's like there's so many holes. There's like 2 here. There's one under here, which I think's for an old Tegra external battery.
Di2 battery, yep.
There's one bolt hole there. I've got no idea what you'd screw into a bolt hole there. Yeah, I'm not a fan of all that. It makes me feel like I'm riding a triathlon bike, and I'm not a triathlete. I wear slippers, I don't wear runners.
But they can still go pretty quick into the wind as well.
Wheels?
Yes, I was just about to mention wheels on race day versus training day.
These are the race wheels, but I can train on these because these are just carbon clinchers.
Yep.
Head do a pretty cool, it's like a shroud over a normal alloy rim. So it's a texture braking surface. These were the wheels I think we had on my bike when I was here when we reviewed it last time.
You had the front and back on, yes.
Yeah, so that's the matching disc. So that's just a spoked wheel with a shroud over it. Okay. Kind of cool. Makes it easier. I've got them set up as tubeless.
Right, so one thing I haven't tackled just yet, tubeless.
The data, the only data I've ever been able to find on a rolling resistance type thing, there's a guy called Blather About Bikes that does some cool stuff. This rim, that tyre, set up as tubeless, lowest rolling resistance you can get.
Is the way to go. And I think it was proven today by Slane going out and stealing about 3 or 4 comms here in Ballarat.
That's just these pins.
Might have been the wind, might have been the bike, might have been the fitness. All right, thanks Slane for taking us through your Cervélo P3 speed rig. And that's probably not the last of it as well, because Slane has yet another bike. But that's coming another day. All right, thanks for watching.